cya kane inzego za leta zigomba kubikurikirana nazo ndetse ubwazo kuko zirimo ntabwo zitabikurikiranye nabwo bafite abababaza ubu bakwiye kubibazwa ariko ikibazo cya serivisi mbi cyo ntigikwiriye kwihanganirwa n'uwo ari we wese ariko ndakubwira ntabwo hashize igihe kinini mpora nabyo ariko nahuye nabyo kera no mu nteko kera twagiye mu bintu bya what was it national dialogue kera bazahamagara abantu bakora bafite amaresitora bafite ibikingo baze bagaburira abantu bari bageze ku gihumbi mu gitondo turakora neza akazi ugeze ku lunch tugira break nagiye kuyifatira ahandi nagize amahirwe kutayifatira ngarutse mu afternoon usanga barambwira harimo n'abayobozi harimo n'iki bose bamwe babajyanye za ambulance zabo zitunda zijyana abantu mu bitaro ndabihorera ariko ugasanga nta n'uvuga ati bazanye ibi bintu bamukurikirana ibibazo ndetse habaho guhura kundi aho ngaho bakagarura wa wundi bakabarebaha ngo atange serivisi zo kugaburira abantu urumva biri muri twe ntabwo ikibazo ari cyaba abandi batanze serivisi mbi gusa ariko n'abo bazikoreye nabo arishyura akagenda no vuba abantu benshi mvugana nabo bakakubwira iriya resitora bakakubwira izina n'ubundi twagiyeyo twese uko twari 7 none 4 twese twararwaye na 2 bari aho bari ku stand by bategereje kurwara ugasanga ni ikiganiro gusa byahereyeho hashira icyumweru kubera ko aho hantu hari ukuntu wenda hagezweho cyangwa bahavuga neza kumva ngo basubiyeyo ntabwo serivisi mbi yacika kandi muyishimiye nizo wahora usubira ahantu baguha serivisi mbi ukishyura ubwo butishimye se ni ikibazo kinini mujye mukishyira hanze mu kiganire mukivuge uko kimeze mureke kuba serivisi mbi ikwiye kwangwa period ikavugwa ikanengwa abayitanga bagatekerana kurusha gusubirayo baguhaye serivisi mbi.
Next question for Sam.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Short.
Thank you. My name is Sam Karenze. I work for SKFM. My question is about Rwanda and the Arsenal deal through Visit Rwanda initiative. Arsenal.
Oh, we won last night. Did you see it?
I'm also an Arsenal guy.
Good.
After 8 years working with Arsenal through Visit Rwanda, they recently announced that they won't be renewing the contract. What's the reason behind the decision of not renewing? And if you can tell us about some news about
8 years is not a short period, I think you understand.
I mean the news around that the decision is a result of pressure from European countries about
but we have Atletico Madrid, we have PSG, these are European countries. They are based in European countries. So that can't be the issue. But the issue is when maybe sometimes, while for me, and I will continue, it has nothing to do with the contract. I will continue being Arsenal fan, of course. I even go and watch in the stadium football when I have time and so on. But a partnership like that one we had been having for 8 years is a commercial partnership. A commercial partnership can be reviewed on different grounds. Either party may say, I'm not, because it has to be, it was being negotiated every year. It has to be negotiated every season. I mean, not every year. We agree, let's say we negotiate it like today. Maybe it goes 2 years or 3 years. Then you have another one, whatever period people have agreed. It could be renewal every year, it could be renewal every 2 years or 3. So the reason for renewal is to look at whether new conditions demand different things from either party. I say, no, from my experience for last contract, we didn't get so much in this area, and we can't be paying for it so much. And the other side could say the same. Can we adjust it like that? So in fact, if particularly this one, there was a negotiation that went on. There are adjustments to be made in the contract. And our people and theirs disagreed on a particular thing and said, no, we can't have this instead of this, or which you have been having, or which you were demanding to have. And reached a point where they said, okay, instead of disagreeing too much, you may find another partner who will satisfy you if you don't want to listen to our demands. This is really what happened. I know why maybe the politics you are referring to. So, you remember, again, I think you should learn many things from what we go through. Remember, even now I don't think they have stopped. Remember, DRC went to UK and was repeatedly there complaining about our partnership with Arsenal. And say, no, you can't do that with a country that is all kinds of things, telling them stories that they weren't there from the beginning of this conflict. They repeatedly made it an issue. Actually, they also went to PSG. It's not just... so it didn't work. People explained and continued the partnership. And it was during that time that we even had more partners. You remember Atletico Madrid came later. What is interesting, when it failed, when the DRC efforts failed, they started looking for clubs to have partnership with. So yes, that's exactly what happened. If you saw, I think I saw a game yesterday or the other with the Monaco. Somewhere on the sleeve they have D something. Yes. So you can see you are attacking a partnership and you're saying this, when you fail, you go looking for the similar thing. So which shows really they were doing it just to malice Rwanda, not because there was anything wrong with this partnership. Unless we want to overstretch it and assume that among the people who have influence or who are part of the authorities to decide were Tottenham fans. So you can understand they don't want to kill this one. So that is what happened. There is nothing dramatic about it. But at the same time, by the way, if this partnership doesn't work, it means we have opportunity with this money, because it is commercial, to open up for another partnership somewhere else. You've seen how we've been even going to, as far as the United States, we are having beautiful partnerships with the NFL, with the NBA, and more will come. Yes. By the time we realize, we are into many other partnerships.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've given us more than 2 hours. With your permission, we can take 3 more questions.
Let's see here, take some bonus.
Oswald.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Murakoze cyane. Ndagira ngo mbashimire kuri uyu mwanya muhaye. Sinzi niba mwarabonye raporo yasohotse ivuga ko mu mwaka umwe 2024-2025 abantu basabye akazi bari 1,100,000 birenga. Akazi gahabwa abantu 3,000 gusa. 3,000 kuri 1,100,000.
Bitatu bigomba kuba ariko byaragiye mu kampani imwe cyangwa ebyiri. Ntabwo niba yakoze yakiriye.
Noneho mu mpamvu zimwe zitera inzego za leta zimwe zishyira ku isoko imirimo zigakoresha ibizami, abantu bagatsindira akazi ntibabashyire mu myanya. Hanyuma barusanga yego mu nzego za leta.
Inzego za leta hakwiye kubamo n'abake abo ngabo. Hakwiye kubamo bakeya kurusha 3,000. Leta bose barajyamo bashaka iki? 1,000,000 urayishyira muri leta igihe kora iki?
Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ikibazo ntabwo ari uwo mubare w'abakora muri leta, ahubwo abo bavunika bakora ibizamini. Ntabwo bose babikoze nabiyandikisha basaba akazi. Ababikoze bivuze ko bagera muri 500. Ariko harimo ibivune, hari abakoresha ibizamini byo mu karere ugasanga ikizamini kiri kubera umusanga. Harimo udafite gahunda bavuga ati kugira ngo duce intege abo basaba akazi bakina hajyaho amafaranga ku bashaka akazi.
Ibyo ni mismanagement, ni imikorere itariyo. Ibyo nyine babishyira ku murongo, ibyo bishobora gukosorwa ntabwo ari ikibazo cy'ibyo.
Hanyuma ikindi nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ibirebana n'insengero. Abanyamisengero basabwe kugira ibyo bavugurura. Barabivugurura bashyiramo amafaranga. Maze bigiye gusaza zitarataha.
Iyo bibagewe nta nsengero nafungura n'ibyo dukora tubikora nyine byose kugira ngo abantu nayo insengero muri development, muri ibi byose twavugaga intambara ziri ku isi na survival y'igihugu, insengero zifitemo uruhare. Nizo zatanga akazi se abenshi they just cheat. Ariko mubahehe mwebwe ndibyo mbona ko ari abantu huzuyemo ububande gusa, kurwana n'abandi bari mu churches nabyo nta mpamvu bifitiye nabo rwose. Ariko abakoroni barabarindagije, namwe murarindagira. Ubu turimo tuganira ibintu bya church, ibisengero wagiye mu byo kuhinga mworore mujye mu gusenga nushaka usengere kuri telefone. Ibyo churches ubu aho byaturutse n'uhazi churches ziri ahantu hose ziri aho ahubwo ndetse buriya ni uko dushaka gushyira ibintu mu kuri, tudashaka guhutaza abantu, tugira kwigisha naho hafunzwe nke.
Ikibazo kiri muri Perezida wa Repubulika kubera hari uturere tumwe zifunguye, abaturage baturuka mu turere aho zifunze bajya gutera umubyigano
naho tuzazifunge ahubwo. Aho ziri ubwo tuzazifunga bajye basengera mu rugo rwose. Iri senga abanyafurika
rero munyuma y'ikindi kibazo kimwe kibana n'inyambo. Ejo muhagarariye Emir wa Katari inyambo Albert Rudatsimburwa twaza tuganira avuga ati birakwiye ko inyambo bishyirwa mu murage w'igihugu ku buryo bw'ofisho. Ibyo bintu mwese mubitekerezaho bizakorwa ryari?
Muzabitekerezaho mwebwe, muzabitekerezaho mubikore. Njye mfite inyambo ndishimye uko muzazigenza migirire gute ibyo birabareba. Nzatunga ngabe nishime nyambo kwareba amateka yacu se. Mwe mukora akazi ko ibyo birabareba muzabishyiremo. Njyewe ntabwo ngiye kubishyiriramo kubera ko ndi umworozi. None se ntufite uko communicating na leta? Muzabikurikirana ibyo birabareba.
Bloomberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under Ganga with Bloomberg News, I just have a couple of things I'd like to hear from you. If we look at gold prices, they've hit an all-time high in the market. In the context of Rwanda, IMF projects that by the end of the year, gold is going to account for half of your export revenue, about $2 billion by the end of this year. But in the same breath, we have seen sanctions, particularly from the EU, on the country's main smelter, Kasavu, and some of its executives. So in lieu of the sanctions, what is Rwanda currently doing with its gold? And maybe if you can broaden out that conversation for me, what is the importance of gold in Rwanda's economy? And do you have specific plans to develop the gold industry? Thank you very much.
Do you want to advise those who are applying sanctions? I'm saying, do you want people to add more sanctions to stop that, or what?
No, I want to know if you're not selling it to the EU, because Rwanda also has a really big deal, about $900 million mineral deal with the EU. Yes. So if they're off the table, if that is frozen, what is currently happening?
There's nothing frozen. There's nothing frozen. You know what they sanctioned? The individuals who led that refinery. But the refinery operates, right?
So that I don't misquote you, Rwanda is still selling its gold to the EU.
It's selling gold to the market. Whether EU, the Gulf region, or United States. I don't know whether I'm getting your question properly. But there is definitely gold. We have gold here, by the way. Do you know it? You know a place called Yavuze? Have heard? During the war of 1992-3, our soldiers were operating in that region. Yavuze, there is a swamp, you know it? In Chumbi. Our fighters woke up and found some stones they didn't know flowing along the river, and they picked that stuff. And in fact, we sold it, sent it through to Uganda, sold it. It bought us, we were able to buy some meals for a week. Just from the road we picked. They are The mining still goes on artisanal, and now they are doing deep exploration to see if there is gold in Nyamagabe area. Nyanyungwe, a lot of gold comes from there, and so on. Then more gold comes from, and gold has been coming through here or sold here from Congo as it goes through Burundi or goes through Uganda. So there is nothing particular about gold and Rwanda that people should blah, blah, blah about. The refinery, but you know the sanctions, if you followed, the sanctions two individuals. What does that have to do with gold? Impact of Rwanda on the market, or well, it must be there. I haven't calculated it, but the impact must be positive, must be there, relative to the price of gold going up. I've been seeing it is now at around 4,000. Yes, 4,000 plus dollars per ounce, I think. That's huge. As you see it, you may end up, and it has nothing to do with Rwanda, you may end up having wars around the gold, those who need it and those who produce it in the world. And those who have more will get more involved than those of us. We are talking about young or small people. Rwanda always carries the burden of the whole world by itself. You know, there are people doing everything, even in a worse form than probably we're accused of. But they prefer to point at Rwanda for everything. Can you imagine Rwanda being a point of reference to do with this global network of gold trade? You get it clearly that it is politics, it is geopolitics, it is some nastiness that goes on every day. Otherwise, how does Rwanda really surface? You know, this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay.
Someone else wants
Yes, one last question from Jackie.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, my name is Jackie Lumasi. I host the Real Talk on RTV. And Your Excellency, what I do on this program is try to bring out the person behind the title. There's a former Prime Minister who was once asked what was the toughest part about his job, and he said the toughest part of his job was parenting his son. And to someone else who thinks when you're a president or you're a prime minister, that should be the hardest job. I'd love to hear from you as a parent. So in this case, putting aside the president, I would love to talk to PK, the father, the grandfather, if you've ever had to struggle with anything as a parent, what would that be? And then with the grandchildren growing, I wonder if you're picking them from school, dropping them there. What have they done lately that got you smiling? Some of the images that I've seen online of you, the most beautiful images are those of you around your family. So clearly, the family means a lot to you. And so, as you also talk to Rwanda's young people about preserving what we have built as a country, protecting what we have, someone could think, maybe you're not talking to your children as well, they could try to put them on the side. As you watch your granddaughters grow and the many other grandchildren that will come, how would you like them to view Rwanda's transformational journey and the roles that their grandfather has played? Thank you, Excellency.
That sounds like a long story there. But, well, thank you to in any case, bring it up and reference that. My family, whether immediate, the generations springing from that first and foremost, the central part of me and what I do and how I do it, but above all, I enjoy it. I enjoy family. I don't find any problems except running around with children so they don't break their legs or fingers or something, but it's so enjoyable, 100%. But in doing that, you want your own children or those from them as they grow up to just be decent people in their lives. Decent meaning the core part being what is expected of them in society and by so. But also making their own mistakes and owning up and growing with the purpose that they can live and lead in the society where they grow up in. They must have some bearing being the Rwanda, the family, so we would, and for those ones, other than the grandchildren, the children, once in a while we have a discussion around that. And I have time to tell them my experience, my life, young, middle age, growing up to the age where I am, and all of that the family, my wife and I have had to go through to make sure that first we survive and they survive, and so the efforts can't be for nothing. The efforts can only be for the fact that they must grow up as decent human beings as much as they can. I can tell them so much, but only they can do so much. And if they can learn from that, which we always have to insist and they do, well, that's it. And actually the issue of them growing up as president's son or daughter or grandchildren does not feature much. We try to remove that from the conversation as much as we can. We just have to grow up as decent human beings. If they become presidents themselves or become whatever they want to become or become nothing, that's up to them. They know how to live with it. Yeah, so, but it forms a big, big part of my life, and it feeds into the energy to do what I can do, and without a doubt. So another person maybe?
Thank you, Mr. President.
These two, now they are full.
Some of them are raising for the second time.
No, for the second time or no.
Yes, you can go to Jado.
mwakoze kuba perezida wa repubulika. Ibibazo abantu mwagarutseho kuba perezida wa repubulika muri iyi minsi, ahubwo nyuma ya covid biragaragara ko intambara zishingiye ku kwigwizaho imitungo zongeye kuba nyinshi. Ingaruka zimwe za hafi ni uko ibikomoka kuri peteroli birimo guhenda, ibihugu nk'icyacu bidakora ku nyanja ndetse tukaba twinjiza byinshi birenze bisohoka. Cost of living
nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika irimo irazamuka. nkaba mvuga nti ko bigaragara ko ibyinjira mu gihugu birimo bihagera bihenze, ibikomoka kuri peteroli bigahenda, mu kubigura umunyarwanda ku isoko ibiciro bikaba bitoroshye. Iyo ngamba ziba cyuho za leta y'u Rwanda zo mu gihe gito cyangwa se ku buryo burambye zaba ari izihe nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika?
usibye ibyo bibazo biriho kandi bimwe byumvikana tugomba guhora dushakira umuti, reka tubanze tunahere gusubiza amaso inyuma urebe aho tuvuye n'aho tugeze n'ubukungu buhora bukura buri mwaka. ubu turi mu ba mbere ku isi bafite ubukungu bukura, nuko ari igihugu cyangwa ari ubukungu bukeya gusa, ntabwo ari igihugu kinini, ntabwo ari ikonomi nini, igihugu gitoya ariko ubukungu bwacu buhora bukura buri mwaka. umwaka ushize n'uyu nguyu biragaragara ko turagenda tujya hejuru iteka ya karindwi n'igice ku ijana. ntabwo ukwiye kwibwira ko biva ku busa. niyo urebye n'imibereho y'abaturage mu myaka 20 ishize yakomeje irushaho abaturage umubare wabo uriyongera, ariko n'imibereho yabo igenda yiyongera, byaba buhoro gato byabaho byihuta, ariko biriyongera ntabwo bisubira inyuma. ibijyanye rero n'ibyo bijyanye n'ubukungu ku buryo bw'ibyinjira ibisohoka bavugaga, ingamba ya mbere ni ukugira ngo ibyo twohereza hanze birute ibyo tuvana hanze. nibyo byatuzamurira ubukungu kurusha, tugatubura agaciro, tugatubura n'ubwinshi bw'ubukungu. izo nizo ngamba. buri kintu cyose dukora biva mu bintu byinshi bitandukanye. iyo ugiye kureba no mu bukerarugendo, igihugu gisurwa, abantu bava hanze mu mwaka nyirango ushize barenze miliyoni n'ibihumbi 300 cyangwa 400. amafaranga avuyemo arenga miliyoni 600. ibi byose ni ibintu dushaka ko bikomeza gukura, ariko birakura. harimo ikibazo cyo kirahari kijyanye n'uko gufata ibyo ufite ubu ukabigereranya n'ibyo ukeneye ubu, usanga ikinyuranyo ari kinini nyine. ariko niyo mpamvu abantu bagomba guhora bakora uko bishobotse ku bintu byose. guteza imbere inganda, guteza imbere ubucuruzi ndetse bw'ibiva hanze bukaza bwubaka ibyo dukora mu gihugu. hari ibintu byinshi tumaze kunyuramo byari bikwiye kuba bitwigisha uko dukwiriye kuba tubikora. icyo navuga rero ni ugukorana, ni ugukorera hamwe, kugira ngo abaturage n'abatwumva bumve ko ingorane zo zirahari, ariko inzira irahari yo kuzivamo, kandi hari ibikorwa bigereranyije ndetse n'ahandi usanga turi mu ba mbere bagenda bagerageza gukora ibishoboka.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will we take one last one from Fola?
I think you have a lot of
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Fola from the Radio Masterclass, Lagos, Nigeria. I want to ask you a question, sir, about women. So in many African countries, women...
That must be easy question.
I'm sure that it is. So it is about women and access to reproductive health. I have been in Rwanda for 3 years now, and I have seen from personal experience that Rwanda has actually made significant progress in expanding access, because I can confirm that IUDs that are costing women in some other countries as much as $300 have been given in hospitals for free here. So my question is, what deliberate policies and investments or institutional reforms did Rwanda do for this to be possible, and what steps would you urge other African leaders to take if they want to replicate this success in making sure that women have this affordable reproductive health services for women? Thank you, sir.
Well, I don't want to advise anybody for avoidance of being misunderstood. But the first thing is for people to have in their minds, one, importance of women as a big part of their society, their population, and make sure that you look at the whole population and you look at the different categories of that population, where it is the young people, it's the women, it's men, that is the starting point. And then as long as you put, well, in some cases you may look at the population, you say, oh, you want your population to be this, to do this, but at the same time you are just doing the ordinary thing, and in most cases you are just thinking about men, because they're the ones who are even at the top there thinking and doing things, as in some cases due to the imbalance we have had in our politics and society. But if you think of women and their specific needs, but also build their involvement around that, you will get the rest right. And therefore, in thinking about good health for your population, you must be seeing certain things that affect different groups. As I said, children, they have different needs in society when it comes to their health. Then you can say men, you can say, but particularly women in this case, and so on and so forth. So that you go fixing, but you are here looking at them under health, but the society that you are managing and that you have to do the best for. This is where it starts from. If you don't start from here, the rest goes wrong. Yes, and so for those who would want to share anything with us, and some of the things we do, we've learned from other people as well, from different places, about different aspects. We learn very quickly from other people, and then so that is, there's nothing so much technical about it in isolation. It is just thinking about health, thinking about your people, thinking about women, and as you think about the rest, the children and the rest, and then you go into these categories and say, what are the specific needs? So under that umbrella and the budget and so on, you break down and create resources for each aspect. That's all you do. But that's the starting point. The rest is to be practical. How do you become practical about doing it and just stop saying it or having information and knowledge about it?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Was there someone who really, because how urgent is it?
I think we can start with them at the next press conference. I have not asked.
Who is this? Okay, let's see. Let's hear from who don't want to hear from that.
murakoze nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika ikibazo kimwe nshaka kubaza mpagaze kandi mbashimire murakoze cyane nyakubahwa perezida mu minsi ishize twabonye intumwa z'i Burundi mu gisirikare n'iza leta zitabira ibikorwa byabereye n'aha ngaha ejo bundi tubona impunzi z'abarundi zitaka ubushake zisubira i Burundi baravuga ati se haba hari umubano muri iyi minsi cyangwa se ibiganiro byaba byihariye kugira ngo imipaka yongere ifungurwe yo ku butaka murakoze
nta gufungura imipaka iracyameze nk'uko yari imeze ntacyo ariko twebwe na mbere hose no gufunga kuri iyo mipaka nta uruhare u Rwanda rubifitemo hato abarundi nibo bahisemo gufunga imipaka ndetse turababwira ngo aho bazashakira gufungura twebwe ntabwo tugeze dufunga ndetse n'ubu hari abava Burundi bakaza hano hari abantu bava hano bakajya i Burundi hari abagenda na Rwanda sinzi niba kijyayo bose bagenda ariko hagati aho muri uko gushakisha twabana dute birenze ibi birushijeho kuba byaba byiza abantu baravugana twe nta na rimwe tugeze dushaka gutorana kugira abaturanyi tutameranye neza ariko bijya biba biraba n'ubu birahari ariko muzakurikirane neza ntabwo byigeze biduturukaho na rimwe niyo mpamvu ndetse kugenda no kugaruka rimwe na rimwe twe nta abantu aho bashakiye baraza bashakiye baragenda nabo impunzi niba duha za UNHCR cyangwa abandi bakorana n'impunzi bakaza bakavugana nabo niba hari abumva bamaze kurambirwa ubuhunzi bashaka gusubira iwabo twe tubaha UNHCR ikabatwara ntabwo twagumisha hano ashaka gutaha n'ubundi yaje hano atari uko tubazanye ahubwo ni uko bahuye n'ibibazo iwabo bagashaka kugira ngo baze babe hano nta kintu gishya rero kindi all right thank you very much